In this video, we are going to state the quadrant of each angle. So if you have a negative angle, that means you're moving in the clockwise direction. The initial side is always the positive x-axis. So if I'm going to go negative 97 degrees, I'm moving this way. So if I stopped here, that would be negative 90 degrees. So got to keep going. If I went all the way to here, that would be negative 180 degrees. So it's going to be somewhere in here, somewhere between those two. So that makes this the third quadrant. Okay, let's take a look at number 10. So here's the initial side, positive x-axis. This is a positive angle, which means we are moving in the counterclockwise direction. If I went to here, that would be 90 degrees. If I went to here, that would be 180 degrees. If I went to here, that would be 270 degrees. So that means I would have to move into the fourth quadrant here to reach 310 degrees. So that's it. This is quadrant 4. Obviously, by the way, the quadrants go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now, so that is ridiculously simple when you're dealing with degrees. When you're dealing with radians, it takes a little bit more effort, and sometimes you have to do long division if you don't have a calculator. And we are not supposed to use a calculator for this review, so we're going to have to do some long division. So it's very useful to know what the decimal form of 7/18 is. All right, here's the long division of 7 divided by 18. So negative 7/18 pi is approximately the same thing as negative 0.4 pi. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be graphing. So here is the initial side, as always. This is negative, which means we're going to move in the clockwise direction. So remember, a semicircle is pi. So if I stopped here, this would be negative half of a pi, or negative 0.5 pi. But we are not going to get there because our angle is approximately negative 0.4 pi, so that's less than this. So I'm going to stop short of that. So I'm going to draw my angle in such a way that it doesn't quite make it to negative 0.5 pi. Okay, so here we have our angle, and going back to the exact form again, we have negative 7 pi over 18, which, whoops, which is here. Now, well, guess what? I did not go beyond the reference angle. So, we started off, of course, at 0, and then we went to negative 7 pi over 18. And the thing is, this is the reference angle right here. So we know how big this is. It is 7 pi over 18. All right, that's how far we went. So the only thing is, for the reference angle, it's always positive. So we're not going to say negative 7 pi over 18. We're just going to say 7 pi over 18. Okay, because basically the angle itself is the reference angle, except for we need to consider it as positive when we talk about reference angle. All right, that was a little weird. One more. I feel like we didn't we just do something just like this? 10 over 9. Oh, you know what? I guess that was in another video. All right, one more time. We really need to know what the decimal form of this And if we don't have a calculator, then we have to do long division. So it's a matter of how many times does 9 go into 10. So you do your long division, and you see that this is approximately negative 1.1 pi. So that's going to help us place this thing. So here is our initial side, as always, the positive x-axis. This is a negative angle, which means we will move in the clockwise direction. If I were to stop here, this would be negative half of a pi. Okay, so I got to keep going until I get to negative 1.1. If I got to here, this would be negative 1 pi, or just negative pi. So we need to go a little bit further past that. If I kept going all the way around to here, this would be negative 1.5 pi, or negative 1.5 pi. So negative 1.1 is somewhere between negative 1 and negative 1.5. So we need to put our angle a little bit past negative 1 pi. So I'm just going to draw it here. That's kind of, I missed a little bit. Okay, so there's my terminal side. But my reference angle is going to be this angle in between here. Now remember, our angle is here, okay, at negative 10/9 pi. And that's just a little bit beyond negative 1 pi. So we need to know what's the difference between these two. How far apart are negative 10 pi over 9 and negative 1 pi? So basically we need to subtract those two to find out how far apart they are. So when I do the subtraction, I really don't need to pay attention to the negative signs. Alright, I just want to know how far apart they are. So I'm going to do 10 pi over 9 minus pi. Okay, of course I need like denominators. So I'm going to multiply by 9 in the numerator and denominator. So then looking at it that way, I have 10 pi over 9 minus 9 pi over 9. So that is just pi over 9. So that is the reference angle. Okay, that's this little guy right there. Tiny little pi over 9. And that's going to do it for this video. On the next video, let's see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be evaluating trig functions at various angles. Okay, and I think we're going to do both degrees and radians. So, if that sounds like something you want to learn about, I will see you on the next video.